Hello everyone. So today we are back and we are on Desishub coding website. So I'm here on the challenges, and today we are attempting to do another challenge. So today's challenge, actually I looked ahead of time. I looked for that challenge. So today we're going to do this slanted edge profile card. Okay, so you can see the challenge is here, and it is actually a medium level or somehow advanced than the one we did last time. Okay, so let's head in and we'll see how we can actually do this design. So as usual, we start with planning and see how we can attempt this challenge, and that's what we are going to do in the first place. Okay, so I will head into PowerPoint and then we start breaking down this challenge to its smallest pieces so that we can clearly understand how we can actually attempt it. So I'm here in my PowerPoint, and this is actually the challenge, the slanted edge profile card. And as you can see here on the card, we have a lot to do. There is a lot to learn from this challenge. The one is the slanting edge. So you're going to look at how do you put a background image in something like this, slanted. That is one. Two, we have a background image that is having some linear gradient. That is another something to learn. And then of course you're going to still continue use flex in all these other ones. Okay, so when you identify and you see this card, the first thing you see is that this is we have a card inside actually a body or our container. So instead, in this case, we consider the body as a container, and then the card is inside this body, right? So that one is very easy to understand. And of course, now at that point our code will look like this in HTML, like we have a body, and inside the body we have a card. Okay, so that is in the simple terms. We have the body, and inside the body we have a card. Okay, but then if we look closely at the card, it has all these other sections, right? So there is this first part on top that is slanted edge, and then we have this profile details where we have John Smith and product designer, and then we have the profile description, then we have these icons, and then we have these statistics, right? So when you look at this, these are some statistics on this card, and then that means our HTML now actually expands. So inside the card we have like the slanted edge, and then inside this we have the profile details section, and then we have the profile description, profile icons, and then the profile stats. Okay, so this is the breakdown. When you break the card into small chunks, it actually gets into this. But of course, the most interesting part here is actually this slanted edge. Okay, so let's dive into the slanted edge. So when you look at this section of the slanted edge, okay, so you take it is part of the card, and then inside this part I've called slanted edge, you can see I've put it in yellow. So it's that section that is in yellow, right? So when you look at it, it has a number of items inside. So the first one, it has some icons. So if you look at, there is this icon, and then there is this chat icon, right? And then there is this round button with a plus. Okay, and of course you would think actually have an image. You are right to think like that. So in maybe in other way, or if someone wants to make want me to make a video where I have used the image in HTML, it is very possible you can use this image from the HTML site. But for simplicity purposes, I'm just going to use this image in the CSS, right? I'm just going to use this image in the CSS, but it is very much possible using this image in HTML here, and then you use position absolute and other things to make sure that actually it fits in like so. Okay, yeah, so that is going to be our challenge, and we are going to attempt to do that. Okay, so now so when you break it, it will look something like this. So in the slanted edge, we have the icons, the top icons, these two, and then we have this button that is placed around here. Okay, so let's continue and see. So there are two major concepts that we are going to see more especially here on the slanted edge, right? So the first one is actually doing the slanted edge itself, and the another one is actually looking at the background image with a gradient. Okay, so images, they are known to have a lot of manipulation on them, and when teachers on HTML CSS, you can do a lot with images. And by the way, if you want me to make a video about image manipulation and or anything related, comment in the description, in the comment section, so that I can know about that. Okay, so there are two concepts, the slanted edge and the background image with a gradient, right? Okay, so let's start with the slanted edge. Okay, so in the slanted edge, we are going to do something called clip path. So the clip path concept it is a concept in CSS whereby you are able to draw different shapes. You can draw different shapes irrespective of which shape you can actually draw using clip path, right? So how does clip path work? So clip path works actually like the way we used to use coordinates, right? The way we used to use coordinates, that's how exactly how clip path works. Okay, so in the first place, you assume that this is like a coordinate grid. So I'm just going to draw here. Maybe I use a different pen. Maybe I use which one? Okay, let me use a green one. So in the first place, we assume we have this, right? So take this as your coordinate grid, and then in the clip path world, we already start we count our coordinates starting from this point and moving towards this side like this. So that's how we normally count. And if you remember, in the coordinates are x and y, if I'm to write them here. So we always have x and y coordinates. Okay, so at this point here, at this point, we have not moved in x and we have not moved in y. So at this point is always 0, 0, if you remember very well in coordinates. So at this point here, at this point, we have not moved at any instance, and that's why it is 0, 0. And then we simply put percentages, so we measure everything in percentage. By the way, you can also measure in pixels, it has no problem. But for this, we normally use percentages, right? Then at this point here, you have moved 100%, or you have moved 100 in x, but for the y direction, you have not moved. So in x, we have 100. If this whole coordinate was up to 100, and we are at its end, so we have moved 100, but in y, we have actually moved 0, right? Now, as you are moving, you are trying to draw actually the shape that you want, right? So of course, basically, if I was drawing a rectangle, I would go down here and I say 100%. So at this point, I've moved x 100, and I've moved also y 100, right? Then at this point, I've moved x 0, and then y, I've moved 100. You can see I've moved from here up to here, and then for x, we have not moved any. And that's how you actually draw a shape. But as you can see, the shape we want is from here like this, going down up some point here, and then going back here, right? So instead of using this one, you will see that actually we are using this point. So we are like, we want this point, this point, this point, and this point, right? So at that point here, you can use, so you say clear path, and then we use polygon to draw the shape, and then you put in the coordinates for that shape. So 0, 0, it is this point, and then 10, 100, 0, it is this point, and then we have 180, it is this point, and then 0, 100, it is this point, right? And actually there is a tool I want to show you that actually does the same work. So if you ever want to draw shapes and you can't remember this technique, you can still head into, I guess it is called something like a benefit. So there is this benefit, benetfield.com. This guy developed this actually. So he made a clear path maker whereby you can actually come and then you draw some shapes, right? So you can come here and actually you draw a lot of shapes. So every type of shape and even custom shapes, you can come here and you will be able to draw custom polygons. For instance, you can see you can actually come and then you are able to draw actually custom shapes like so, and you can see the code is here, right? Okay, that is great. Let's continue. So for this challenge, what you do, we'll go to this container, right? So the slanted edge container, and we will give this clear path, and it will be able to actually dissect it like so. Okay, so that is great. That is great. So let's move on to the second. So the second one, the background image. So the background image, there are very many techniques you can use actually to achieve this kind of stuff, but the easy one I find most of the time is actually using background image. So where you join the image and the linear gradient. So you know linear gradient is also taken as a background image. So you can actually combine a real image and with a background with a linear gradient, right? So this linear gradient is the same as you say blue to red, and then the only thing that you do, you lower the opacity. So you see we're using RGBA, whereby this is the color and then this is the opacity, right? So we simply lower down the opacity so that the image is in the back. So what it does is that when you put linear gradient, so it first puts the linear gradient on top and then it puts behind the image. And then when you lower the opacity, actually now you are able to see the image in the background. I think this is a very great technique, and you should always adopt this kind of stuff when you are doing it. But of course there are some other different techniques like mix background, mixed blend mode, and others, but this is the one I could try to use to attempt this this challenge. And I think at this point, let's jump in and we'll look at code. Okay, so I'm just going to go here in my folder, if you remember this folder. So we have coding challenges, and this was the first one, dev start card. And then, by the way, it is there. I think I will link I will link it in the description, the dev statistic card that we did first. So today the second challenge, and it was slanted edge card. So I have here a folder I've already created, slanted edge, but there is actually nothing in it. There is only this folder that is containing the PowerPoint that I was showing you, and all this code afterwards, by the way, you are going to find it. I will put the link in the description where you can get the source code and actually also look at the PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm just going to open this folder in VS Code like so. So I'm opening this in VS Code. Okay, and there is only this folder for assets. So by the way, if you look at it, we need one image and then some other icons, right? You can look this image and then some icons. So I'm just going to try to get an image here. I can use Okay, you can just get an image. So I'm just going to go maybe to this time. I can try to go to an splash. Okay, and then I can just say maybe mere headshot. I don't know. So Splash is one of the websites you can go and get priority free images and in high quality. There are some other websites you can try like Pexels and Pixabay. They also do the same thing actually. Okay, so I'm just here searching for a mail if I can get a very good headshot that actually we can use in this. Okay, let's first look at this guy. How does he look like? Maybe yes, a male model or something. Let's try that. Yeah, so you can use. Okay, so let me just get at random. Maybe I take for this guy. I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to use maybe for this guy to avoid wasting time. Any can work, I guess, at this point. So just going to name this one maybe BG. So cut this image and bring it to our folder. So the folder is on the step coding challenges, slanted edge, and then you can simply actually put it here, right? And just simply put it there, and then we have it here. So I'm just going to create two files. The first one is index.html, and then the second one is actually style.css. Okay, so let's try to move on. So the first thing, I'm just under here in HTML, so simply do this technique of shift 1 to get this HTML boilerplate. Okay, so at this point let me just put here the title, slanted edge profile card. Okay, and let's link right now, let's link to our CSS before we forget. So always link to your CSS like so, and make sure that this name you are putting here is the same as the CSS file you have there, right? So in this we have the body, and then we have our slanted card. Okay, so we can just simply use the card as we had used it, and then inside the card we have actually all these different sections. So the first one is with slanted edge. Okay, and then down in the is where we have profile details. Okay, and then we have also the profile description. Okay, I want to use prof, so you can, to be consistent, let me also put here prof. Okay, and then from there, actually, if I'm to remember very well, we have the icons, I guess so. Okay, so let's just go back here. Okay, so we have prof details, prof description, prof icons, and prof status. Okay, So you can see I'm actually just first putting those small sections. So we have dot prof icons, okay, and then we have dot prof stats, okay. So this is always a good thing. Always look at smaller chunks. So they first get the card and put all the sections. So let's look at section per section. So this section here, it has the first of all, I'm just going to put the top icons. So we have the icons, top icons, like so. And then another thing we have is actually a button, right? So a button with an icon, a button with an icon. Okay, so that is great. We're going to put these icons, so I can actually put these icons right away. So if we look at our challenge here, so the first icon, we have these two icons on top, this menu, and then this chat icon, right? So there are places you can get these icons. There are very many places, but you can try, for instance, flat icons, hero icons, and many others. So I'm just going to try here on hero icons. I just simply search in menu, and we're just going to grab this one with 3 bars. Okay, so simply hover and then copy the SVG. By the way, don't copy JSX. This is for React. We normally use this in React, but just use copy SVG, as simple as that. Okay, so when you copy that, come and paste it here like so, and don't worry about how it looks right now. Just going to minimize it like so. So go and get another one, something like chat, I guess. Okay, I'm just going to get this one here, copy the SVG, and so down here, let me first try to minimize this. So down here, put it there like so. Okay, and then in the button we have a plus icon, right? So I can simply look for plus. Any can work, I guess. So let me just get this one, copy the SVG, and go inside the button, and you can paste it like so, right? So inside the button, I've pasted the SVG for a plus icon. Okay, so far so good. So for that top section, I'm done according to our plan. Okay, so let's go to this profile details. So what do we have in profile details? Profile details, we have the name. So you're just going to say just say name and title. So we have profile name and profile title. So I'm also going to say here, maybe let me just use like H1 for the profile name, and it is something like John Smith, and then P with title, so prof title, and then maybe actually yes, a product designer, like so. And that one we are done, right? So then we have this description. So the description here, I can use lorem ipsum, but I can just say, you can just simply search some small content about a product designer. So it's a product designer. Okay, product designer. So just copy this first statement here and come and paste it there, right? Product designer is good for the taking experience, user taking direction, representation, blah blah blah. Okay, so then we have these icons. Okay, so let's look at the icons. So we have the first one is this one for this is what this is for. So we have this icon. The first one is for what? I normally forget that. Can we is called what? Okay, I'll remember that as I'm thinking about it. Okay, so this one I think is Behance. Okay, let me see Behance. Oh no, that's not Behance, right? Dribble, yeah, it's Dribble, right? Okay, yeah, I've remembered finally. So you just go to find icons, and you can just say Dribble, I guess. Let's see if we can. Seems like they don't have Dribble. Sorry, we couldn't find Dribble interface icons. Let's say icons. Just wait for it to load. Okay, so yeah, it seems we have some icons actually. So we can actually just get any of these ones, whether image or no, it doesn't matter. So just going to simply download as PNG like that, and it is actually free of download. So download like that, and yeah, so we have the icon over there. Okay, so let's go back and let's go back and search for the second one is Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so Twitter. So I'm getting the one with color black, as you can see here. However much we will not be able to control them. So in the future, we are going to see how you can use other SVG icons. But for now, just to keep it simple, let's just use these ones, right? I just use these ones. So I think this one was also bullet. I just get that one. I don't know how many they get for free. And then last one is actually Instagram. Okay. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, so we have all these icons. So I'm just going to go to the downloads and look at these icons. Okay, so just simply copy these, cut them, take them to our folder, coding challenges, slanted edge. I'm just going to create here, and I put icons. I want to put them just like that. So I just put images, and see, you can even just drop in this one. Okay, and then we put also the icons like so. The one of Instagram, I don't know, it doesn't look like right. Okay, I hope so. We will see if it doesn't work. We will. So let's try to connect these icons actually. So there are 3 of them. And just say image / images, and the first one is Dribble. So just going to put here Dribble, and then the second one IMG. The second one is Twitter. Second one is Twitter. So images and Twitter. Okay, just have Twitter here. Twitter. And then the last one actually is Instagram. Okay, So the last one is Instagram, like so. Instagram. Okay, that is great. So we have three of our icons, so we can actually move on. Okay, so from that one we have these three stats, right? So we have the following: followers and likes. Okay, so I'll just come here and I say start. So in the start we have start title, so p.start title, like following, for instance, and then we have the start number, so p.start number, something like 500 something, 56k, and then duplicate is 3 times. Okay, simply copy this, paste it 3 times. So in the second one is followers, okay, followers, and the followers 940 320. So here is 940, and then here is 320 likes. Okay, so this is great. Okay, this is great, and that is it. So it's now starting to work on our stuff. So let me just go live. Let me go live, and we'll see what we have in our HTML, right? So what do we have in our HTML so far? Okay, so this is great, looking not even close to what we want. Okay, so let's work on these ones. Okay, so let's jump in this one, and you can see we can first work on actually the icons are looking pretty big. Okay, so I'm just going to go here in CSS, and the first thing I'm just going to do, I think we first bring in the font. Let me see which font here we are going to use. I don't know, it looks like a very serious font. I have not thought actually about that, but let's just go to fonts and we'll see which one we can grab. It doesn't much matter. You can actually always take your time and look for the right font, but in this design we are trying to actually achieve the design, of course, as much as we can. So you can always go to Google Fonts or even some other places, and you make sure you have a correct font. Okay, so I'm just going to remove all these ones that I'd use it. Okay, you can even simply use even Meriwether, but let's first see here. So let's something like display. So if I search, take off this, and I leave display. What do they have in display? Of course, we can use also this one. Looks like a great one. Okay. So I guess we can also use two fonts at the same time. It has no problem. But right now, let's not think more on the fonts. Okay, let's just concentrate and we get any that can actually work for us. Okay, let me just choose at a random one that we can actually use. Okay, there is this anybody. It looks like it can actually work. Let me just use that. So there is this font called anybody. Let's try to see if we can work with that. So let's go and grab 300, scroll down, 500, 600, I think even 700, 800. That one I think is enough, even if you don't take a 900. Okay, so we have it here. So I'm just going to grab here and I put in CSS. I normally use this one particularly in CSS, so copy that, and you can just say, and it's a Google fonts, okay, and then paste it there, the Google font, and then we can also copy this, right, and then here down I'm just going to say browser reset. So always the browser has its own settings, like on the margin, so we always remove these settings first before we do anything. So I'm just going to say star, okay, star, and then we can look at margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing, border box, and then at the same time actually we can set our font family to anybody, right? So this is great. Okay, so now at this point let's start looking on our icons. I can target SVGs wherever they are. Okay, so actually I can target, since they are going to be of different size, let me target them differently. So we have top icons, so I can target dot top icons, and I target SVG inside there, and then let's give it a width of maybe 40 pixels. We are just going to see, and height of 40 pixels. Okay, 40 pixels, and we can say color white. Okay, okay, so let's go back to our stuff. So the fact we gave them white, I guess let's leave them with black for now so that we can see them. Okay, that is great here on top. Okay, so let's also target, there is one in the button that we are not seeing, right? There's one in the button that we are not seeing, but let's just work on these other ones, these ones here. Okay, so I have there in profile icons, so let's see where they are located and we target them. So they are located in profile icons, so just get profile icons like so. So dot profile icons, and I'm just going to target the image inside there, and then give it also some width, maybe 40 pixels for the start, and height, let's give it 40 pixels. And actually you can even give it only one, it doesn't matter, they are images and they can figure out the height. Okay, and yeah, this is great. And then let's first put the border to the card so that we can see actually this card. Okay, so let me just go and target the card before I go very far. So for the card, let's give it a border so that we can see it. 2 pixels solid black. So I'm giving it a border so that you can see it, and yeah, that is our card so far. That's how it looks like. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to give it a specific width, right? So let me give it a width of 40. View width and see if it can. That looks maybe more big, maybe 30. Okay, then to the body, so that we can center it. So let me target the body here, so we can target the body, give it a height of 100 view height so that it finishes the whole screen, and then give it a display flex, and so justify content center and align items center. Okay, as simple as that. So our card now is in the center, and we can actually have a look at it very well, right? So this is great. Okay, so for the starters, let's go to slanted edge. So let's start with from top here. So let's define some height for this slanted edge. Okay, so I'm just going to start with slanted edge here. Let me put down here and dot slanted edge. So let's try to give it some height. Maybe for the starters, let's give it 300 pixels. I don't know if that is too much. I have not tried out this card, by the way. This is the first time to do it. Okay, so this is looking maybe great. Okay, so let's also put it to the, we give it the background actually at this point. Actually we are giving it background image. Okay, so for the first time, let's give it the URL only. I'm just going to say dot images, and we have put bg. Okay, like so. Okay, so the image seems to be so huge. So let's say background size, let's try cover so that it can actually fit in. Okay, this is great. This is great. I guess we would have got the one with a lot of space. I don't know, can I get another one, like maybe this guy? Okay, we can get one on these ones. Let's try to get like this guy. So I'm going to get another image. This one looks like it is short or something, but anyways, you can still work with that. So I'm just going to give it the same thing, BG, so that it can replace the other one, and we'll see if it is maybe more better. I don't want to lose this one. Okay, so paste it there like so, and let's see actually if it is more better. Okay, all in all, I think that's what we can do, just like that. Okay, and that one will work for now. Okay, that one will work for now. Okay, so we have our image working. So now at this point, what I would want to implement actually is we can go ahead and put the gradient. Okay, so here according to it is something like greenish, these two colors here. I guess he used like these two colors from this button. Okay, we can put this image. Let me copy this image, and I can go to this website. So get colors from image. Okay, get what? Get font, get colors, get colors. Okay, so what is this first one? This first link, imagecolorpicker.com. So I'm just going to, can't you paste the use your own? Can I paste? Let me see. Yeah, so this is great. I can paste, and then I want to get this image, this color on this side. it is this one. So scroll down, it is this one, this, and they even give you the RGB. So let's take this RGB or hex, any can work. Okay, so take this RGBA. Okay, let me take this hex. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so I can just come here and I say, okay, linear gradient. Okay, linear gradient. I'm just going to put a comma here. So linear gradient, it takes in two colors, and the first one I can put this, and then comma, I'll put in the second one. So we can go this side here. Okay, try to extract that, this one. Okay, so it is something like this. Okay, comma here, and put another one. Of course, when we put like this, actually what happens is that they actually take over, and you cannot actually see to the image, right? Okay, so what we can do actually is lower. So the trick is you can lower actually the opacity of this one. So let's lower this one to something like 0.7. So the technique is, when you are in CSS, you can actually lower the gradient, the opacity from here, right? So this one is for the opacity. So lower the opacity, right? You can lower the opacity like so. Okay, so let's look. You can see it is starting now to look. Okay, so I can do the same here. Try to lower it maybe to some place like here. Okay, and yeah, so you can see our image at this point. It is being seen. So I can actually continue lower this, and at the same time lower this. Okay, yeah, and that is really great. So we have overlaid our image in the background, and then we have the image there, right? So we have achieved that, and the background, we have achieved it, and it is looking great. Okay, so next is let's put the clip path. So we have our clip path done here. Okay, so you can just say clip path. So you can just say clip path, and it is going to be a polygon. So 0%, 0% space 0%. Sorry. So it is 0% here. I'm just going to put also 0%. Okay, so comma. So I can actually just simply copy this from here, not to waste much time. I'd explained it already. So copy these values here inside, and then I'll just bring them inside here like so, right? So this is our shape, and we looked at how we came to have this clip path working, and boom, you can see we have our card having the clip path, and the image is in the background. So that is great. And by the way, let me also switch to see which images works more better. I think the second one, this one works more better. So we're going to work with that. Okay, we're going to work with that. Okay, so this is great so far. In achieving this, we have taken a big step. Okay, we have taken a big step. We have to this level right now. So let's put these icons apart, and that one shouldn't be hard using Flex. So in the slanted edge, we have top icons these ones. So you can target top icons down here, the top icons, and give them display flex. Okay, and then let's just give them justify content space between. Okay, yep, so you can see they are actually apart. And then what we can do is, maybe to the card we can give some padding. So let's try to give to this, let's try to give some padding. Okay, so if I say padding top and bottom, maybe 0.5 rem, 0.5 rem, and then on the sides maybe 1 rem. Okay, so let's check. Yep, that one looks great. Okay, and the color, they are white, so we can actually give right now the top icons. Can we give the color here white? Yeah, so that is great. We are doing good. So now at this point, where is our button? Okay, so can we look at our button? So the top icons are done, and then let's look for the button. Where is it located? Okay, I have these icons, and then I have this button here. Let me see where is it. So if I minimize top icons, yeah, so it is in the right place. So let me first target the button, and I see. Okay, so to the button. Okay, so let me target the button. First of all, let me give it some padding, maybe 1 rem, to say 1 rem, and then background color of this one, we use it on top here. The colors, can I get the color from here? I want to get the color from where? Okay, maybe this one. So I'm just going to copy this. So our background color here, okay, so I'm just going to put the background color here. Go back. Okay, so you can see where it is located right now. And color white, just give it color white. And there is an SVG there, button, then there is SVG there. So let's give it some width, a minute. Let's give it some width of 40 pixels for the start, and height, can we give it height of 40 pixels also? Okay, it will take this color, I guess. Okay, that is great. That is great. Remove the border. So from this button, let's take off the border. None. Okay, that is great. So let's try to bring, so what we want is what, bring this button here at the edge, right? So what we are going to do is, to this button we are going to say position absolute. Okay, and then to the parent, which is actually the slanted edge, we are going to give it position relative. Okay, so when you do that, it is now, from there we can actually give it, for instance, let me see if we give it like bottom 0. So if we give it bottom 0, yeah, so you can see how it has moved. Okay, so I'm just going to give it right, like 10%, right? Okay, so it is at this point, and I guess it has been clipped. Okay, okay, so that is the scenario we're having right now. So another hat is telling me that we can actually put that button outside. Okay, can we put this button here? So instead of being inside the slanted edge, actually I can push it out and then I put it inside here on its own, and that means this position relative that we had put on the slanted edge, it will now go to actually the card itself. So let's give it to the card, okay, and you can see where it is right now. So let's change, we give it instead, let's use top. Okay, so what is the button icon? So the button is here. So instead of top, here you just give it top. So say top, maybe 20%, maybe we just try to 30%, and we see where it would be. Okay, not bad. So just give 40. Yeah, it looks to be in the right place. And then I'm also going to give it actually border radius 50%. Okay. Wow. So now it is actually in the right place. I can even go ahead and I give it cursor pointer. Okay, I can give it cursor pointer, and let's also give it some sort of, let's just give it some sort of box shadow to give it some nice feel. I'm just going to go here. There is this link I normally use for getting box shadow very easily, so that you don't actually have to struggle getting them. So go to this one, and which one am I using today? Okay, let's go to pick at random. They all look nice. Let me pick 13. Okay, so give it this. Okay, so give it that, and let's look at how it is looking. Great. So this is, I'm happy with this. So we can move on actually to these other sections. Okay, so the first one is profile details. So what I can actually do is to this whole card, all these sections, I can use this prefix. Okay, and I put everything to the center. Okay, let me see. So on the slanted card, so let's go down here. Apart from this button, so these all others, I'm just going to put them in the same div, and we call them card content. So I'm just going to copy from here, cut, and we put it in card content, content, and then inside here I'm just going to put all this. So to the card content, so we have put everything right now. Why have we put everything? Is to be able to use flex with ease. So to the card content here. Okay, so to the card content, I'm just going to target it down here. That card content. Okay. And I'm just going to have display flex, and I'm just going to change flex direction to column, and I'm just going to give a gap of 0.8 rem for now. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so this is not bad. Let's maintain 1 rem, maybe 1.2 rem. Okay, that is not bad. So just use 2 rem. Yeah, so this one looks great, and we can put it in the center by saying justify content center and align items. center. Okay, so let's put everything in the center and we see how it looks like. Okay, this is great. And then we can give some padding. Okay, padding, maybe top and bottom. Let's put 1 rem and we see. And then to the sides, let's just put 1 rem everywhere and we see. Okay, so that one looks great. However much we are having problem with this button, so don't mind about the button right now. So let's first finish this. So let me start with this name. Okay, so the name is profile. Title, actually profile name. So the first one, I want to text transform to uppercase. Okay, that is good, and it already looks nice. And it was in profile details. Can I put also in the center? So for profile details, so those who don't remember profile details is where we have actually the name and the title, right? So I'm going to use flex here. Okay, display flex, justify, content center, and align items center, and then flex direction is actually column. Okay, so that one will put in the center. Okay, yeah, so we are doing good up to now. So then I just going to give it some gap. So gap of maybe 0.8 rem. Yeah, that is looks great already. And then to this prof description, I can maybe increase line height. Prof this. Let's work on the line height. Okay, let's just say 1 rem or 2. Okay, 1.5. Yeah, that one looks great. And then to these ones, these icons here, so we can target .prof icons, and we can give it display flex, and we can give it right away a gap of like 2 rem, and we can always use, of course, align items center, and even let's justify them. So justify content also make it actually center. Okay, yeah, so we have our icons looking great. So finally, let's look on these stats. So for the stats, so we have .prof stats. Okay, so for the prof stats, let's first give them display flex. Okay, and that is already great. And let's give them some gap or maybe 2 rem. Okay, that is also great. And then what we can also do is now target stat. Okay, so for the stat, if you are wondering what is the stat, I can remind you. So we have this stat, which is having stat title and stat number. So if you look at the design, is that they are actually centered, so we can actually use flex there. Okay, So start, we can give it this prefix, justify contents center, and align items center. Okay, and then flex direction is column. Okay, so that one would make them like that, and we can even go ahead and give them a gap of maybe 0.5 rem. Okay, yeah, that one looks great. So let's go ahead and target these other ones. First of all, that is prof title. So we have dot start title, that's the first one. So we can also use text transform, uppercase. Okay, text transform uppercase, and that one will make them like that. And then of course we could give them color like gray. Okay, color like gray, that one looks fine. Okay, and maybe we slightly increase the font size. So I just increase the font size 1.2 rem, and that is great. And then these numbers, they are huge. Okay, so for them, dot start number. Okay, so first of all, I just font size, let's use 2 rem for now. Okay, and then font weight, we can try 700. Okay, yeah, and already the card is looking great. Let me remove this border from the card. Okay, so if you look at it right now, it is actually getting into shape, right? It is actually getting into shape. So let me see what we can actually give it also. We can also give it a box shadow. So I'm just going to come here and pick also another box shadow, and probably just use one that's like this 17. Oh, actually, let me use 13 and maybe see how it works. So to the card, I'm giving it a box shadow like so. Okay, and look at this, this is good work, guys. This is good work. So let me try to fix this button, and by giving it so what is the button? So the button, so just fix the top, maybe try 35. Okay, so 30 is 30. Let's just try 30 and see 33 or 32. Yeah, and that one looks perfect, guys. This is really great. It has been a long journey, but finally we have our nice looking card. It has the button in place, it has these icons in place, and it is really good doing the design from scratch. We got the icons, we got all these ones, and actually these icons, we can even still lower them. We can still lower them. Let me just try to get these icons. Where do we have icons? I'm just going to search here, prof icons. Okay, so where are these icons? Okay, prof icons, images, img. Okay, so here we did just give you that. Okay, and this is looking super great. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Those ones who have not subscribed, I would love that support to the channel. Please subscribe and share with others so that we can get help. And by the way, you can always you can always go to this our website and get more challenges. So we have more challenges, and we have a campaign of doing all these challenges one by one. So far, the other day we did one, which was this one, and today we have also covered another one, this one. So we are going to be coming with more until we finish all these challenges. Okay, thank you so much. Till then.